lying bull would come out like jelly.
You just listen to me. Call me names.
Cheap and dirty ignorant. Amy Schroeder. I married a cheap and dirty ignorant.
Now you shut up, Dooley! You come home thinking of another woman's cologne and you call me names! That's all now, Dooley. I'm telling you for fair. I can't stand no more of you. You lay one hand on me, one finger, and I'll shoot!
From out of the West, Dick Powell. ZANE GREY Theater. Tonight, starring Guy Madison.
In 2 weeks, the Senate will vote whether to grant the right of appeal to the Supreme Court in all sentences where the punishment is death. Your task, Mr. Jericho, is to delay the execution of this woman until that vote is taken. You are not to help her, a condemned murderess, to escape. And you are not to employ any form of violence. Diplomacy. Only diplomacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, having traveled 200 miles or more to witness this event, I'm sure none of you wishes to risk not being able to see it. My good friends, in 2 days, Amy Schroeder will pay the supreme penalty for the murder of her husband. She will be hanged by the neck from Judge Parker's scaffold until she is dead. And the execution of this female, which the entire nation is talking about, you will be privileged to witness in the flesh. And it will be performed not 3 times, not twice, but only once. And if you do not have one of these absolutely spectacular spectator spectacles for the hanging, you will feel that you are missing the hanging of Amy Schroeder. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have specimen here ranging from $5.50 to $17. Now, this model, for example, which will give a very fine view to you. Sir, my merchandise!
Wake up, stranger.
My dream is so real I can smell the perfume. Quick, while I'm still dreaming, what's your name?
Paris? You just come off the riverboat?
And I'm sure I'm going to need a guide. What time this evening?
Maybe you wouldn't like where I might lead you. I'll see you around, maybe. Lately, I've been kind of busy.
You smell good. Been close to a certain lady, eh?
Here you are.
Jericho. Don't say where from.
I move around so much.
No. Well, last room, 2B. Never been such a crowd in town since Judge Parker's first rope party.
How do I get permission to talk business to her?
Oh, you want some more of her cologne?
The big event, Amy Schroeder?
Well, Judge Parker would have to say yes or no. Been so many people trying to gawk at her. Chuck, this is Mr. Jericho. Chuck Wagner, one of Judge Parker's deputies.
Oh, well, maybe you're the one to help me.
Another newspaper fella?
No, real estate.
Do you know what's about to happen to her?
That's why I'm here.
To talk real estate business with her?
I'm hoping to buy her home and land, not that she doesn't need them. Oh, why not? Maybe she'd like to sell before she dies. Look, boys, I carry ready cash. I look for bargains, mostly in death notices, hanging.
Did you ever before see a buzzard without feathers?
Every piece of furniture has to be ordered from 1,000 miles away.
Get away. I'm gonna lay one on you every time I see you as long as you're in town. Every time we meet.
You all right?
Yeah. Think so.
Well, whoever boat that brung you can take you back again. Don't charge for the room. Never even been up to it.
2 weeks advance.
Now, look, he'll knock the dust out of you. He was sweet on Amy before Dooley Schroeder grabbed her. And you can see he still is.
Well, that's just exactly how I feel about a real estate bargain. Now, which way to Judge Parker's office?
Anybody who wants to see Parker who don't have to, well...
The poor woman's living with the memory of tragedy. She shot her husband. She burned their cabin over his body, and she is going to follow him within 48 hours. And you want to haggle with her over a parcel of property.
Well, your job is to decide whether somebody hangs, Judge. Didn't know you had the right to decide whether they hang rich or poor.
This will permit you 15 minutes for the condemned.
15? I heard her husband was a great hand at practical jokes. Once soaked a dog in kerosene, set him on fire just to startle the town.
Yes, Dooley Schroeder was very proud of his little pranks. That one was typical. And yet he was an educated man.
There's an argument, Judge, that it's not the murderer who's guilty, but the corpse which provoked the murder.
That's very interesting theory.
Something for a judge to think about before an execution?
No. What Dooley Schroeder did with his foolish life was not the concern of my court. But under the law, his life was as sacred as that of the most upright and God-fearing citizen in the territory. And the woman who took it will pay for it with her own. Thus saith the scripture, and I believe I said good day, sir.
Dooley made so much noise wherever he went. What with his wild jokes and all. I can't believe a bullet hole could let out that much of a man's life.
If it's in the right place.
I never did shoot him in the head. I don't know why they said that at the trial. It was his arm. It was his left arm. I remember. Remember how he grabbed it and the blood just came out between his fingers. Can't you even give me a hint who it was hired you?
Why?
Why? Person likes to know. Was it Chuck Wagner, the deputy?
Don't try to guess, Amy. It's not that important.
The important thing's not to hang. Yeah, Mr. Jericho. Well, I'm grateful somebody's interested in me, and I think it was cute, that real estate trick to get in here. But unless you got a real good scheme, you can't aid me any. Have you got a good scheme?
It'll come. After looking around, meeting people, putting things together.
That's all.
That's the way I work.
Mr. Jericho, I only got 2 more days.
There's still people around who once had less.
How did you get that knife in here?
Make you feel better that I could?
Yeah. The weather holds out for them. If the wind's right, I might be real nice and do a special turn on the rope. You mind if I keep this till later?
Just keep talking.
Sure does help.
It could help me.
I want to tell you something. If anything happens, if there's maybe a miracle and I don't die, I'll never kill anything, not even a fly. Cockroach. Let it live. Everything's got a right to live. the jury for not believing there ever was a saddle tramp. Nobody but me and Dooley ever saw him. I guess when that drifter heard me holler, he just took to the woods, so he wasn't around to see what happened.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder, as charged.
Murder? Mr. Jericho. The gun went off and the floor was all on fire, and he was holding his arm and looking at me in a queer kind of way. I just threw the gun and I ran. I slept at Maggie's place, and in the morning, Judge Parker's deputies came and told me I'd shot Dooley in the head and I'd burned the house down over him. And there was enough left of him to prove it.
When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. All right, morning.
Good morning.
It was wild and rotten and no good. Him with his stupid jokes. It wasn't funny to him less than somebody got hurt. But I didn't kill him, Mr. Jericho. I didn't kill him. I know I didn't.
I can see folks talking soft about him whilst he's still alive. But if there ain't no need to be afraid of him no more, I can't understand why anybody'd pay to say a good thing about Mr. Dooley Schroeder.
But somebody is paying.
Miss Paris.
Paris? She lives across the street from the Les Flores Hotel, doesn't she?
Come up to me one day and say a bunch of Mr. Schroeder's friends took up a collection and she was the chairlady of the headstone committee. She give me the money and writing words. Yes, sir. That Mr. Dooley Schroeder was about to joke on his man, and this is about to lie in his stone. Thus saith the Lord, bold Moses said, let my people go.
Swinging them fists, hollering names at me, and him stinking from another woman's cologne.
I thought I told you I'd hit you every time I seen you.
Chalk, did Amy's lawyer point out that if that saddle tramp was there, maybe he did the killing?
Roger.
Like you sure mean to come in.
Need some advice. I'm still trying to buy the Schroeder place.
Is she willing to sell to you?
What's she got to lose?
Then what's your problem?
The story is that it wasn't Dooley Schroeder they found in that burned-out house, but the saddle tramp.
You better let me put something cold on that jaw. Now, don't get too comfortable.
They're an angel.
No, thanks. Look how they dress. better?
I'm not sure. Let's try that again.
Now tell me, what's all this nonsense about Dooley Schroeder being alive?
I didn't say that.
Well, you sure did. The saddle tramp. Oh, Amy's yarn in court. You know, Amy's been a liar half her life, and the other half she couldn't tell the truth. But Dooley married her out of pity, and then he couldn't get a divorce.
Is that a fact?
Mm-hmm.
Did, you know him, too?
Oh, Dooley and I had a couple of laughs now and then.
I understand he enjoyed a good joke.
It had to be better than good. A real belly laugh to suit Dooley.
She'd be a laugh on me if I bought that property thinking she owned it as his widow.
Who'd be able to take it away from you?
He would, if he turned up alive and kicking.
What does this to you? You get this stuff across the bar, or do you make it yourself?
You're laughing the whole town. Amy, Judge Parker, everyone.
There's only one thing. Everyone knows that Dooley Schroeder is dead.
You more than anyone. Wasn't good-hearted Miss Paris chair lady of the headstone committee?
Gabriel. He talks too much.
That inscription you submitted for the headstone. Real touching.
I like the funny ones. Like, here lies Paris. Please don't embarrass. Dooley made that one up.
His own is funnier, if you know the next line.
The next?
Soft, meek, patient, tranquil spirit. The first true gentleman. Go on, you can finish it.
Look, if you can flap your jaw so much, you're not hurt too bad. Goodbye.
Where'd you ever learn that play? I'll bet you knew the author.
Yes. Now will you get out of here?
You're gonna make me feel unwelcome.
Goodbye.
Do you have mice?
Goodbye.
I'll come over and help you get rid of them. We'll, get into all the corners.
You see me throw that badge away? I got no more use for this job.
Chuck, I think we can still help Amy. What if it's not Dooley in that grave, but that saddle tramp killed by Dooley after Amy left? What if Laughing Boy is hiding out someplace just waiting for Amy to die?
You're drunk.
Well, let's get some coffee and sober up.
I wouldn't put my elbows on the same table with you.
Listen, Chuck, listen to this idea. When I tell you this, don't turn around. Keep looking at me. Amy said he had been seeing another woman before he came home. What if he went straight back to that woman? Who would she be if he wanted to hide out and needed help? Don't turn, don't look. And what better place than to hide out right in the middle of town? Watching, laughing. And if he's found, he'll say he never meant for Amy to swing, that he intended to pop out at the last moment. I said don't look around. Well, you hang on, you big buffalo.
I'm gonna see if he's up there.
You can't rush a man holed up in an attic.
You got more ways of getting me mad.
that you?
What are you doing in the shade? I went out and lay down where it's warm.
How badly you hit?
I must be leaking pure whiskey. I'm all sober. You think we can take him, me shooting from here and you from some space away?
Mr. Wagner, I want to leave walking. Now, you hold off a minute. Odds may change.
Now, I want to give Judge Parker a dead man.
Chuck, will you for once listen to me? Climb up on those boards and get into the hotel.
Buzzard, you sure can't fight, but don't tell me my job.
Chuck, he's loaded. Wait till he's empty again.
Ha ha ha!